Hello and welcome to the Home Screen Podcast. This is episode 34, and in today's episode we're going to be discussing and predicting this year's Oscars. Similar to last year, this is going to be a slightly shorter episode as I wanted to squeeze this in before the Oscars, which are happening in just a few days' time at the time of recording this. Similar to last year, I'm going to be going through each category, reading the nominees, and then saying what my choice and prediction for each of them is going to be. At the time of recording, I've seen 8 of the Best Picture nominees, and the only 2 that I haven't seen yet are Marty Supreme and The Secret Agent. I'm still fairly confident in my placement and predictions regarding these 2 films, based on what I've heard and from their results from other award shows, but yeah, they're the only 2 that I'm still missing. In fact, I'm actually planning on watching Marty Supreme probably in the next day, but I haven't had a chance to squeeze it in before recording this. Okay, so without any further ado, let's jump into the nominees. Every year I actually fill in the letterboxed Oscar ballot form as my way of tracking my choices, so we're going to be going in the order of that ballot today. Kicking things off in the actor in a leading role, we have Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, and Wagner Moura. My choice and prediction for this are both going to be Timothée Chalamet. I've heard incredible things for this, and I'm expecting nothing less than brilliance when I see this. For actor in a supporting role, we have Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi, Delroy Lindo, Sean Penn, and Stellan Skarsgård. Again, my choice and pick for this is going to be Stellan Skarsgård from Sentimental Value. I was blown away with this when I got a chance to see it at London Film Festival last year. He did a great job, and I think him getting the Golden Globe may have got this in the bag for him. For actress in a leading role, we have Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Kate Hudson, Renate Reinsve, and Emma Stone. This is no surprise, my choice and prediction is Jessie Buckley from Hamnet. Hamnet was one of, if not the best film that I saw last year, and she was basically the main reason why. She swept every other award show this season, and I think this is the most steadfast, sure choice. I think she's going to win. Actress in a supporting role, we have Elle Fanning, Inga Ibsdotter Elias, Amy Madigan, Wumi Muzuka, and Tiana Taylor. Again, my choice and prediction is Elle Fanning in Sentimental Value. I think this is quite an open category. This really could go to anyone. I think the surprise would be if it went to Amy Madigan. I think all of them, apart from Inga, have won it at different award ceremonies over the season. I just think she did a spectacular job in Sentimental Value. Maybe this could go to Tiana Taylor. But we'll see. I think this is a very, very tightly contended category. Same with actor in a supporting role. I think the 2 supporting role categories this year, it could go in any direction. Moving on to animated feature film, we have Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or The Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Now we start to have a bit more difference. I would choose Zootopia 2. I actually really enjoyed Zootopia 2. I watched it last week, finally, when it came to streaming. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I think my prediction is going to be K-pop Demon Hunters, which I still love. I think it's an amazing film, but I personally would choose Zootopia, but I'm going to be predicting K-pop. For animated short film, we have Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters. I unfortunately haven't seen any of these, but I've heard great things about Retirement Plan, so I'm going to be choosing and predicting that one. For casting, we have Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. My choice would be Hamnet. I think that was really well casted across the board, especially with the core cast, with Paul Mescal, Jessie Buckley, and then the younger actors playing the children. Although I do think my prediction for this will be Sinners, and I'm fairly confident with that one. For cinematography, we have Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Train Dreams is one of the best shot films I've seen in the last few years, so my choice would be Train Dreams. It would be fantastic to see it win, but I think it's probably going to go to One Battle After Another. Especially all the commotion around its release with some of the scenes towards the end, like the highway scene. I think it does some incredible things with cinematography. There's some great wonders in there. So yeah, I think that probably will win cinematography. For costume design, we have Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. I think my choice would be Sinners. I think there's some really good period piece costumes in that. But I think my prediction is going to be Frankenstein. For directing, we have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Jerome Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. My choice is kind of torn between Chloe Zhao and Jerome Trier, but I'm probably going to go Chloe Zhao just because, yeah, I really did enjoy Hamnet. But I think my prediction is going to be Paul Thomas Anderson. I think that is another lock. I think he has swept everything, and I will not be surprised. Thoroughly deserved win, by the way. A really well directed film. For documentary feature film, we have The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. Yeah, I unfortunately haven't seen any of these either. I haven't seen many documentaries this year outside of wildlife-centric documentaries. I've heard a lot of good things about The Perfect Neighbor, so I'll be choosing that, but I'll be predicting Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Political documentaries tend to take it home for the Oscars, so yeah, I'll be going for that one. For documentary short film, we have All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with the Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renard, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly Estrangeness. I haven't seen any of these, so I'm going to be choosing and predicting all the empty rooms. For film editing, we have F1, Mardi Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I'm going to be choosing and predicting One Battle After Another. I personally think that was a very, very well crafted film for something that's over 2.5 hours long. I think it manages at runtime extremely well, it's well paced. For international feature film, we have The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Sirat, and The Voice of Hind Rajab. As mentioned at the start, I haven't seen The Secret Agent. I also haven't seen Sirat. I've seen the other three. They're all incredible. For me, it's a real tough one between Sentimental Value and It Was Just an Accident, but I think I'm probably going to be choosing and predicting Sentimental Value. I think it has 9 nominations across the board. It's very clearly well liked, so I wouldn't be surprised if that takes it home. For live action short film, we have Butcher Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. The only one of these that I've really heard much about is Two People Exchanging Saliva, so I'm going to be choosing and predicting that one. For makeup and hairstyling, Frankenstein, Kouko, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I actually wouldn't be upset if this went to The Smashing Machine. They did a really good job in making Dwayne Johnson's seem pretty much unrecognizable. I'm probably still going to be choosing Frankenstein. I think the prosthetics and design of Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein was really, really well done. But I think I'm going to be predicting Sinners, again similar with costume design, with all the period accurate styling. For music original score, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. My choice for this would be between Johnny Greenwood for One Battle or Max Richter for Hamnet. I'm probably going to go for Hamnet. On the Nature of Daylight always hits like a truck. It did for me in Shutter Island, and it does here as well in Hamnet. Really, really powerful and well executed use of the score to enhance the emotions present in the scene. I think Hamnet really is heightened by the score. But for this one, I'm going to be predicting Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. It swept pretty much everywhere else, and it's still a really, really good score. For music original song, we have Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless, Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. I'm going to be choosing Train Dreams because I really, really love that one. I thought it was a really good capstone of the film. But I'm going to be predicting Golden because it's an absolute mega hit. It's been sweeping, and yeah, it's broken out of just the films to being one of the biggest, if not the biggest song of last year. Moving into the last few categories, production design, we have Frankenstein, Hamlet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Even though I haven't seen this one, I'm actually going to be choosing Marty Supreme. This is choosing for film that I haven't seen, but from everything I've seen, the sets and locations and the whole aura of the film seems really, really authentically done. So I'd like to see this win, but this is kind of a blind pick because I haven't seen it. But I'm going to be predicting Frankenstein, and similarly with the costume and some of the other craft categories, I could see the vote leaning that way. For sound, we have F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat. I've heard a lot of good things about Sirat's sound design. I haven't seen it personally. I'm going to be choosing and predicting F1 for this. Say what you will about the story and the slightly predictable nature, but I do think that the sound design was very, very well done. Joseph Kosinski knows how to make a film that looks great and sounds great. For visual effects, we have Avatar Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. I'm going to be choosing and predicting Avatar Fire and Ash. I've been wanting to see this, but I'm still waiting for it to hit streaming as I missed its theatrical run, but of course this is surely in the bag for Avatar. For writing adapted screenplay, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamlet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. My choice for this is torn between Hamlet and Train Dreams. I'm going to be leading towards Train Dreams just because I really, really love that film. But my prediction is going to be One Battle After Another. It's been picking up a lot of screenplay wins over the season, so yeah, I think it's probably going to go to that. And for writing original screenplay, we have Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I'm going to be choosing It Was Just an Accident. I think it's a really, really cleverly done screenplay. Jafar Panahi did an incredible job of writing something that's really engaging and keeping you guessing where it's going to go. That was one of my biggest surprises from the London Film Festival, so I hope that wins. But I think it's probably going to go to Ryan Coogler for Sinners, which I've got nothing against. I think that would be a great win, and props to him because it is an incredible script. And now we get to the big one, Best Picture. The 10 nominees are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Now my choice for this would be Hamnet. I do love that film, and I think it's an especially cathartic film, and it achieves what not a lot of films really can do. I don't think I'll ever forget how the room felt when that film finished. It felt like everyone in that room was almost trauma bonded. It was a very, very hard-hitting but very moving experience watching Hamnet in a packed cinema. So for me, that's sticking with me. That would be my choice. but I think and predict that this probably would be one battle after another. There's been a lot of different winners over different categories of the award season, but one battle after another seems to be kind of, steadfast as that's going to be the one that will take the cake. That always takes the big win at the end of the night. I could see this going to Sinners. I believe it's the most nominated film in history, which is kind of crazy with like 16 nominations, but everyone loves that film, so it could be Sinners. I think it's probably a two-horse race between Sinners and One Battle After Another, with Hamnet being close behind them, but I think and kind of hope that it does go towards One Battle After Another in the end. I've heard the term thrown around, but I do kind of agree that it is really a modern classic. It's kind of like a No Country for Old Men, where it comes out and everyone knows that, oh, this is going to be a staple of cinema moving forward. This is going to be a film and a screenplay that's studied for years to come in film schools and film degrees. Alright, so there's all my choices and predictions for the categories. But before I go, I also wanted to kind of rank my personal ratings for each of the Best Picture nominees. Last year I was able to watch all 10, but this year, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, I was only able to watch 8 this year, so I am missing Marty Supreme and The Secret Agent. But of the 8 that I have seen, ranking from the bottom to the top, so number 8 would be F1, then Frankenstein, Begonia, Sinners, Sentimental Value, and then my top 3, third place would be One Battle After Another, followed by Train Dreams, followed by Hamnet. Okay, well thanks for listening to this episode of the Home Screen Podcast. I'm looking forward to the Oscars. It's something I always love following each year. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's a nice way to kind of celebrate and look back on that year in film. This is kind of like the end point of award season. This kind of wraps up 2025, I guess 2026 early cinema. This is kind of like the ending. Anything after this feels like a new season of films for the year. So we'll see what happens, and whatever happens, I'm looking forward to watching. If you enjoyed the episode, check out the episode description. That's got all our links to our social medias. Give us a like and a follow is always really appreciated. And stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you then. Bye.